All right. Hi there, and welcome back to another review. Today's film is Tron Ares? Today I'm joined by my lovely wife, the one and only. It's nice to have you on the show. So we just got done watching Ares. What did you like about the movie?
Ooh, I'll say there are a few things that I really liked about the movie. I would say awareness about the computer science world. Usually it's a field that's intimidating. So it's either you like sciences or you don't. And there isn't always awareness, especially for minorities, specifically like women or people of color around computer science is a field you could go into. You don't have to come out and be a software engineer or a computer scientist. There are different things you could do.
Yeah.
As in the movie, you could use it to fund and create an army, or you can feed the hungry and have technological advances towards the healthcare system.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. The technological advances and the futuristic take in this movie were pretty cool to see on screen. For me in particular, whenever there was the action set pieces, I was pretty fascinated by how they use the different technology to show things cutting through everything. And I also thought it was interesting how some of the tech worlds reflected the creators. Um, Jared Leto, the world, the technology world was very military, and compared to some of the other characters, we could see how there are some similarities just based on how everyone kind of uses similar technology, but there are definitely differences throughout the movie. What did you think about the acting in this particular movie?
Ooh, I thought the acting was good. I like Ares, God of War. I thought his role was well played. There were obviously some gaps in there, but I don't think the fault is the acting portion of things. I think is more so maybe how the script was written. And I just want to say this for the record. I read more books than I watch movies. So I
That
always
is
leave
true.
movies
That is
feeling
true.
like I don't have enough information. I just need more context. Like, you didn't build the world enough for me. So, I think it was a 2 hour movie or maybe a little less. So there were obviously more
Yeah, yeah.
information that I wanted, but I wouldn't blame his acting. I thought Eve also was very well represented. Trying to think of the main characters. I want to say everyone played their role pretty well based on how the movie played out.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely the main actor Jared Leto, he was definitely playing as if he was a robot throughout the movie, so that I didn't really give him too much crap in that respect, because that's definitely what was on the script and how he was supposed to be delivering those lines. The villain, I'm kind of feeling a little bit mixed. With that in mind, let's go ahead and jump right into the mix, the negatives. For me, I would definitely have to say one of the things that I didn't particularly like would have to be the last 30 minutes of the movie. It just there was so much on screen and so much happening, and I had so many questions and it's about specific things like how is this working or how is that working, and even the main villains, his goals, and then we see obviously what happens to his mom. There was just so much happening that it kind of took me out of the movie. How about you? How did you feel in regards to things you felt mixed about, negatives, or other things that happened in the movie that you just didn't particularly like?
Yeah, I want to start by saying if you see a mom get stabbed and the first thing you do is not call an ambulance, like, I don't know what's going on.
Right?
Like,
Right?
why?
Exactly.
So he
Like
just
what?
held her and he felt like that prolonged her death, which makes me think there's
Totally.
enough time for you to call for an ambulance or something. Do something about it. You're a smart guy. You created all these things, but you wouldn't help save your mom. You know what?
Exactly.
Maybe he was in distress, whatever. People react to trauma differently. So I'm not even judging it in that from that angle. I'm just trying to say, do something if you really care about your mom. Something that I really didn't like, which kind of goes against my pros or something I liked about the
Uh-huh.
movie, was
Uh-huh.
like, yes, you introduce us to this world of you could use technology for a lot of things. It doesn't just have to be software related, like the big tech companies or whatever, iPhones, whatever. You could help plant trees or whatever, feed the world. But
Yeah.
there wasn't enough information. And obviously, I'm not a computer scientist. I have a little bit of data science background, and that's it. So some of the concepts made sense to me because I'm like, okay, I went through the training to understand things like AI and
Yeah.
machine learning and what is a grid and what happens under the hood. And I thought the design of the movie was very interesting, but it's not easily picked up if you're not someone that's touched the computer science world at all. You don't think, oh, what they're showing me, the fighting scene, for example, when they were hacking into econ, the
Yeah. Yeah.
company that Eve owned, when they were hacking into that company to gather information. Like it was they didn't do a good job of telling me that was actually happening inside your computer. This is in real life. So like those are fascinating, cool things of seeing, okay, what happens under the hood when I type in my code? What happens dragging the file from this hardware to this hardware when I'm trying to
Yeah.
send a virus into something, right? Those are things that could excite people and bring people more into the STEM field. And this was a great opportunity to provide more context and information, like dumb it down for everyone enough to excite them. I don't think they did a good job there.
To add to your points, little things like there's a scene where they make oranges, and they can make it exist in the real world for more than 4 hours and make it permanent. And they're eating the oranges or making orange juice or something on the plane. And I was literally thinking, well, since it was just created out of nothing, does that have any substance to it? Does it have any calories? What's the nutritional value now that it's in the real world? And to your point, they don't really explain much of how anything really works. It's just you just have to chuck it up to advanced technology and just roll with it,
Yeah. And I'll also say, I find it ironic that Ares, the god of war, is the one that doesn't want to be part of this life anymore.
right?
I don't even know if this is a something I didn't like about it. I just thought it was funny. And it was Athena, god of wisdom and also strategic warfare, that she wasn't very strategic with that
Not at
gigantic
all.
machine, bringing it into the city to grab one tiny little lady. Like, come on.
Right?
So yeah.
Like there's so many for someone that's supposed to be, well, advanced AI. I mean, like you could come up with so many different scenarios and how to grab this person. Speaking of which, also I thought it was weird that when she was running away from it, the companies coming to get her, she was running in the middle of the street that was very open. And I understand it sets up this whole climatic thing where she gets trapped there in the middle of the street. But it's also it's like no one's running in the middle of wide open space and not yeah. So that part was a little weird. What did you think about the potential of a sequel and like how this movie ended on a cliffhanger? Would you be interested in seeing future films, or is this like a one and done situation?
I want to say most of the storyline seemed pretty wrapped up to me. Obviously, the villain that created the army, so Ares and Athena and the rest, he imported himself into the grid, which once again, the other company broke into your system and
Mm-hmm.
destroyed it. So how was any of it still alive? And uh, it just leaves so many questions for me. And yes, I like that Aries is going into the world and saying, okay, now I have one life. I want to learn everything there is to learn about the world before I actually pick a career path or decide what to do, which is important. I think we should always approach things from the mindset of like, I want to learn before I take action. I don't know what a sequel will look like. I guess it'll be the
Yeah.
bad guy is just a digitized version of himself and creates other mini hymns. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it kind of sets it up to where he'll try to come back to the real
Hmm.
world and obviously cause a bunch of mayhem and destruction. But unfortunately, I don't think, based on what we've talked about and how I feel about the movie, I don't think I'm that interested in seeing any other Tron movies following this one. In terms of ratings out of 5, what would you give this one?
I think I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Once again,
Okay.
was as someone that did my undergrad in social sciences and then did a data science ish masters, like it was a hard learning curve and it was intimidating. And I appreciate movies like this that introduce you to the world of technology. Like when I took, for example, CS50 from Harvard, which is a free class people should check out if they're interested in learning more about computer science. Like that class was my first introduction to like, oh, you can use computer science and all this information for so much more than just coding all day. I keep saying software engineer or engineering jobs. There's a lot more that you could do. And I think it creates the space, especially in this world of data, to
Mm.
understand the world we're living in and to be able to, when you're writing your code and when you're feeding information into your models, that is very important to ensure we're not being biased and we're not bringing our own messy world into it. I know there's a lot of activism around fair data usage and ethical AI and whatnot. So I hope it sparks interest. Like it's a 3 out of 5 for me, but I hope it sparks interest that someone goes and watches this movie and it's like, well, how did Ares get away from his maker? Like what went wrong in the code? So because there are gaps in it, but I hope that the gaps, instead of looking at them purely as negatives, we could also say, okay, these are gaps. Let me go Google and see how does the back end of this actually work? What goes on behind under the hood? What do the zeros and ones mean? And what can I use this information for in my own life or my career? So yeah.
I was literally waiting for a moment in the movie where there would be the one line of code that just says "Hello World." um, But yeah, I do say that this movie definitely, and to your point, to your credit, it definitely also piqued my interest as well in terms of wanting to learn about how more technology works and what's possible, what's not possible, and more so how can we use that technology to benefit the world, benefit people, and just how we can use it to solve a lot of the problems that exist currently. Unfortunately, I also give this movie a 3. I feel like I've come down a few points, especially given the last 30 minutes of this movie where I was hovering at like a 4, but given the craziness that happens, the so many more questions that I had, unfortunately, it dropped down to a 3. But yeah, that is our review. Let us know what you thought in the comments below, and please like and subscribe for us to continue to make this content for you. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and let us know in the comments, and just maybe we'll have my wife with us a little bit more in future movie reviews. We will see you next time on the next Film Sense with Brian.